Yes. Welcome back to the Feuding Bros in our end of the season review. Woo, what a season. As usual, I'm with Thierry. What's going on, Thierry, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Ready to talk about this season, man. Kind of sad it ended, but yeah, ready to talk about it.
And Freddie, what's up? What's up?
Not too sad it ended, but especially from a Manchester United point of view, we relieved. So yeah, that's how it ended.
I share the sentiment with you, Freddie, man. I was tired, man. I couldn't wait for this season to finish, man. so we can move on to something else. But yeah, guys, as usual, like, share, comment, subscribe. Give us some love and all that jazz, and participate in the comments, man. We want to hear from you guys. All right, well, we're gonna do a little of end of season review, as check out the last games that happened, and then go back to our predictions from the beginning of the season and see where we at with those, and then make our team of the season towards the end. Hopefully, we'll have time to fit all that in. Otherwise, we'll just cut it up and do different videos for that. But yeah, let's get going. Let's start with the Premier League, man. And obviously, we already knew who won the league. Liverpool. We already knew who went down with Leicester, Southampton, and who was the last one? Leicester, Southampton, Ipswich. All right. So the most interesting thing this past weekend was the battle for Europe, and there was up to how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About 5 teams that were fighting to get into the Champions League, and it just turns out to be that Chelsea got in there, Newcastle by the skin of the teeth, and obviously City, and the two that missed out, Villa and Nottingham Forest. Forest, who run out of puff in the end after a great run in the league. But yeah, let's start with these teams, and let's start with City. Let's start with City, since they're the top ones there. Well, the best, the top that go into the Champions League, and in the end, it was pretty easy for them. It wasn't no drama in the end in the last game, and then they just got in there nice and safe. And what do you make of City? And
they recovered. I think obviously, like we've talked about a lot, the signings. I mean, not even the signings, but the signing of Marmoush really was what really helped them in the back end of the season to come back. And
the other guy disappeared. Where's that midfielder? What was his name?
Nico.
Nico.
Where's he been?
He barely played. He barely played. Kusano played like 2 games and then he's disappeared. It
was supposed to be the mini Rodri. What happened to him?
They send him back to the lab, man. Work on him a little more.
It didn't cook right.
Nah.
It didn't cook right.
So yeah, Marmoush I think really gave them a big boost to like help them out and to so that they could put up a fight and get into this Champions League. And in the end, like you said, Yanni was fairly comfortable. It got a little bit hairy against Fulham at times. I mean, it's the same weaknesses they've had all season. Just the defense is just all over the place. But yeah, they did what they had to do and they closed it out without too much drama. And in the end, you got to say they rescued a little bit of pride. I mean, this is their worst season in 10 years, and they're third, so I guess it's not that bad. Obviously, we're used to much higher standards from them, but I think they rescue a little bit of pride out of this season with a third place finish in the end.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing they're gonna have to kind of spend the summer doing is addressing that poor form earlier this year, right? So we talked about it, and I don't know if anybody actually came to a conclusion, like what is the issue over there at City, right? That's what they're going to be spending the summer at least trying to fix, whether it's with additions, whether with subtractions. You know, they're probably going to be a little bit busy, not busier than most, but up there as well because, as we talked about, maybe a rebuild is needed. But as for the season, they did rescue it with a trophy and third place Champions League. That would have been a little bit of drama if they
what
didn't
trophy?
They didn't win the FA
They won a
Cup.
trophy, really?
What trophy?
Well, I mean, they won Community Shield. He
Community
was talking
Shield.
about
I
it.
mean, that's
He
wow.
claimed it.
You
He
guys
claimed it
don't even
like
claim
his buddy
it.
Arteta.
You claim it, but then you don't. I mean,
That's not this year's trophy. That's last year's trophy. That's the thing.
No, they won it this year, right?
They won
At the
it
start
this
of the
year,
season, no?
That the community shield.
Yeah,
Okay,
they won it.
I'm just thinking because they won it because of last year, basically.
no,
yeah,
no.
That's how I'm looking at it. But yeah, I guess you're right. I guess
they won Community Shield. If you want to count that as a trophy, if not, then,
And I guess that's the point, really. Like nobody really hears.
Yeah, nobody really
cares that much. But because they will claim it because that's the only thing they got this year, right? So. Let's let them have it. And third place Champions League, as I say, it would have been the drama if they didn't make Champions League, but that's rescuing the season a little bit. And let's see what they come up with next season because this cannot happen again.
Yeah,
and before
go ahead.
KDB as well. KDB's last game, he's leaving the league probably.
Yep.
I mean, what a player he was. I mean, what do you guys make of him? I mean, he was. I mean, we're gonna say maybe like top 5 in PL history in terms of overall quality. Just his passes, just his influence on the game and the level he got to, which at one point I think he was probably the best mid in the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you guys think of him too? Before Yanni also react about City's season.
I was just gonna say real quick.
But go ahead. Because
sorry, just real quick. Just gonna say it because I know you're gonna take over. It's just that I mean, he's up there, ranked among the best, and all I wanted to say is what a replacement to Yaya Toure. Like I don't think you could have done any better than that. Like who could have thought they would have been better than Yaya Toure, especially at what he does with the passing and breaking the play and all of that. Kevin came and added more to that, especially with the passing. So a goat, man, a goat. Don't know how they're gonna replace him. Don't know if they can replace him. It takes a few players to do that. So yeah, sad to see him go.
Yeah, sad to see him go. And what a great player! What a great servant to the league. And he's just been amazing. He's been. In his time, probably the best midfielder in the league. Throughout his City career. Yes, he's played it out at the end, but I mean that's every player, right? But in his time, I mean, Kevin De Bruyne at his best is comfortably top 5 of all time in the Premier League, comfortably.
Yeah.
And, so I'll put him over the Gerrards and the Lampards in this world. I mean, good luck to him in what he's doing next. I think I've heard today that he's going to Napoli or something. They're talking about.
That'd be nice.
And that's pretty good because I didn't want him to just go and get lost in some in crazy championship somewhere in the Far East. Just to get some money, but it feels like, and I feel like Serie A is going to be perfect for him because the pace is a little bit slower, and you got a little bit more time. So that's going to be perfect for him. He can spend two good years there, and going to the champions of Italy as well. I mean that's not going to happen. So that just kudos to him, man. What a player. I didn't really like him. I didn't like his his attitude at times. I just thought he was a bit stuck up, but. I mean, as a player,
he does look like that.
Yeah, but as a player, as a player, I can't hate, man. I can't hate. The guy is just a fantastic player, and good luck to him. But in terms of City and the season, I think you guys are a little bit kind with them when you're saying that they saved the season. I mean, third, I don't think they're going to see saving the season. I think that's the minimum they could have done for them to falter in the league so badly, and having got to the FA Cup final to also lose that to, like, it's not like they lost it to United or something like that. They lost it to Crystal Palace. Let's remember that. And I think it's a catastrophic season for them, for the money that they've spent, for who they are, for where they've been, But I mean, we're gonna give them a pass because I mean it's hard to win every year, right? And they've pretty much done that since Guardiola has done that. But I mean, let's just say how it is. It's a very catastrophic season for them. And
is that really?
I think it's a bit harsh. Based on their history,
there's no other way to put it. Based on their recent history and based on who they are, based on the standards that they set themselves and set this league, I think they're not going to be happy with that to go a season.
Of course not. Yeah.
To go a season without winning anything, and then to just be battered by average teams, kind of like in the league sometimes.
Yeah, it's the manner, really. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the way they just capitulated. And to your point, Freddie, when you say that we haven't spoke about where they go from here, I think it's pretty clear. I think they just need a good revamp of this team, because what is glaringly obvious with this team is that this team is aging. This team is just old. They don't have legs, so they need more legs. Is trying to bed in. Is trying to bed in. A few academy players towards the end of the season. And that, I mean, we'll see how they fare next year. And I was hoping for big things for Oscar Bob, but I mean, he's been out the whole season. I don't know what happened to him. Yeah. I hope he comes back better, like a better man next year. Yeah. But yeah, it's just gonna have to be players like that he gets, and he's gonna have to be smart as well in the market, because I don't know if they will be able, again, having spent 250 million in January. I don't know if they'll be able to go and spend another crazy money again in the summer. I mean, we'll wait and see. I'm not sure where the club is financially, but with financial fair play and that, and having won nothing, that's probably gonna hurt a little bit. But that's just my take on City and where they are. But let's move on, and let's move on to Chelsea, who barely make it as well. I mean, what do you think of Chelsea? I'm not sure how to qualify if it's an achievement for them or if it's just just lucky, or I don't even know how to put it.
I think you can let them speak for themselves. Like the way they celebrated this win, like
celebrated this, man.
Where is the celebration police, man? Celebrating fourth. I remember when Wenger was doing that, people trying to shoot him like it was
Yeah. They celebrated this, and I feel like it's both. In a sense, it's an achievement. Because the last couple of years, I think they finished like mid-table both years. So in that sense,
1 billion this year.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Actually,
in that sense, it's an achievement based on the performance of the recent performance, especially since Todd Bowley and that group came in. So in that sense, it's an achievement to come forth. But in the sense of the financial investment that was made into this team. The financial investment that was made into this team, for them to still have a lot of glaring weaknesses into this team. You cannot spend 1 billion on a team and you still find yourself without a keeper. You still find yourself without a striker. You still find yourself without really 2 reliable center backs. You still find yourself without really reliable wingers as well, because all of them had points in the season where they were good, and then they disappeared for 3 months, and you don't see them. So where is the investment? Like where? It feels like the only good signing was Cole Palmer. Maybe I'm being harsh, but it's I don't see where that billion went. So in that sense, it's not really. 4th place is nowhere near, and 4th place in this manner, because let's not forget that they were 3 points off Liverpool in January or something like that. And they've just really scraped by towards the end of the season. And even this game against Forest again, terrible game, absolutely terrible game. They just scraped by, got a goal. I mean, they did what they had to do, but in this manner to finish fourth, I know you're gonna say Champions League, well done. We haven't done that recently, so we go in the Champions League, we're happy. But I'm sure this was not the project. They didn't come in and 3 years into their project.
Are you sure though? Because Maresca was like backed to say we're okay with not competing for the league. It was literally
I think they'll be happy with it as well. Yeah, but Freddie, go ahead. I agree with you.
Yeah, he was backed, so he was off that pressure. I think they decided, okay, let's not be just going around sacking all the time. Let's maybe stick with one. I don't know what they said. It seems like he was afforded a little bit of time, and that is, I guess, to his standard. From what I'm just going by what Maresca said. From what he's saying and to the standard he set, this is fine for them. This is an achievement. Hence why they celebrated like crazy. So obviously, if you look at it from their point of view, they will argue you all day long. But from us, obviously, we talk about how much they spent, crazy amounts to show us this season. I mean, there was time where we're like, oh, okay, something is clicking. And then they reverted back to, I don't know what, So, yeah, I mean, I'm pissed off to see them right there with Champions League spot, man. I don't think that they deserve it, honestly. And I'm not the one to talk, but I feel like Nottingham Forest deserved it more, man. They needed not they needed, but they deserved it. They deserved that spot more because they went at it. They really went at it. Esperino wanted like more than just being their second. He wanted to push it further, and obviously went back the other way. So yeah, just pissed off. Chelsea's there. They're gonna get some bragging rights. And we all know that, hey, if it wasn't for all the money they spent, they wouldn't even be fourth right here. Imagine that. They spent all that money just to go from 12th to fourth. So how much they're going to spend to go to first? That's all I want to know.
Yeah, I agree with you in the sense that, it was Maresca's first year. And there was some expectations from him because obviously, the whole narrative was that, is Pep Guardiola's disciple, so he's going to come and change things like that. And he was going all right at first. That shot them up to second. But I think where he completely, missed the trick, instead of putting that belief in them and saying to them, yo, you can do this, you can do that. He comes out and says that they're nowhere near it. You're second in the league right now. You know what I mean? You're like pretty much at the top of the league. Yeah. You have to believe it. And then, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But at least you drum it into their head. But I think the players started believing as well what he was saying, that they're nowhere near in the race for the league. And they started believing it. And I think they started becoming a little bit lackluster as well. And, some of the players as well. I think there's a lot of players that just like I said, my feeling about Chelsea, man. Just weird team, weird club. There's a lot of players that are just similar. They just do all this,
all the same,
apart from Cole Palmer, who is a little bit of a bright spark for them. Everybody just looks the same. It's like if you take out Madueke and put Neto, it's like you've replaced the same player. The same thing on the other side. Like the defenders. I don't even know who's Badiashile, who's the Sassy, who's I don't even know. Like, I don't even know. You see what I mean? They're all the same. I don't get what they're trying to do there. It just doesn't seem like, for all the money that they've spent, I don't see what directions they were trying to do. Like I said, the only player, and that's why for me he is looked at as this brilliant player, and he's a fantastic player called Palmer, but I don't think is where people want him to be at right now. I don't think it's that amazing player, world-class player that some people make out to be. He's a fantastic player. Don't get me wrong, but I think it just looks better in this team because he does something different that everybody else doesn't. You know what I mean? I think that's why it looks a little bit better than everybody else in that team. But yeah, I mean, Chelsea. What I would disagree with you about is the fact that they deserve it or not. I mean, if they're there, I mean, for me, they deserve it. If you're saying that, Nottingham Forest deserved it, so I mean, they were there. why did they slump? You know what I mean? They were third at one point. Why did they slump? So I mean, in terms of deserving, for me, if you're there, that you deserve to be there, no matter how you got there. You know what I mean? So even Spurs winning the Europa League, did they deserve it? But I mean, they won it, so they deserve it. So, see what I mean? So yeah. So in terms of, but I mean, I think they have a lot of work to do still, man. I mean, going into the Champions League next year, I mean, they have a bloated squad anyway. Like I said, with like very similar players, they're gonna have to trim it down, and then they're gonna have to find, like Thierry said, like they need a better goalkeeper, maybe two, because even as a number two, Sanchez, I don't know if he can do it. But to my point as well, you look at all the keepers that they have. I think there are 7 keepers. They all do the same thing.
Yeah.
You cannot say one is better than the other. Just Sanchez is a lucky one. So they definitely need a goalkeeper. Definitely need a striker, because Jackson, as much as I like him, but he's like so up and down, this guy, man. And obviously he's added injuries to his record this year. So that's not going to fly, because like when he's not there, who's there to score the goals? They struggle, And I think that they have a lot of work to do still, and they still have a lot of money to spend. I for one, think that Maresca is not going to last the next year, to be honest. I think he got given his year, and I don't think they will be happy with the way it ended, just to scrape into it. I mean, they'll be happy with the Champions League, yes, because I don't think they're set out to win the league or anything, but I think they're set out to win something, in terms of challenging for cups and that, which they haven't done.
They're getting the Conference League, man.
They're getting the Conference League, but
maybe.
Do they really want that? I mean, it's going to be a trophy, of course, but yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, this club, man, it's just a weird club for me. I just don't like him. Just don't like him. But yeah, let's move on. Let's move on now to Newcastle, finishing 5th by the skin of the teeth, scraping into that Champions League spot, that last Champions League spot, and that's only because Arsenal did them a favor and got to the semi-finals to give them that fifth. Newcastle, man, here's another team that had an interesting season, so to speak. I mean, what do you make of Newcastle?
Yeah, they had a very, very, very interesting season, and I think they had a good season in the end. It was very up and down, but I think probably a great season by their standards, because they won a trophy. So I think that's probably what they've been wanting, like, even maybe, well, obviously Champions League is massive for them as well, but maybe even slightly above Champions League, winning a trophy, having not won in so long, for such an iconic club, for such a, well, now we can say they're becoming a big club, but in terms of support and like meaning in England, they are a big club. They didn't have the finances like other big clubs, but now they do. So I think they had a great season. It's very topsy-turvy, very up and down. And it's really after that League Cup final that they really got some consistency, and they started really like winning a lot of games in a row and not losing for a while. And then in the end, they lose their last 2 games to just scrape it in. So a bit of luck there, which you need in a long season. And they got it, and they'll be very, very happy with their season going into Champions League, which probably means that Isak is gonna stay, that Tonali is gonna stay, like that their big players are gonna stay, and they're gonna strengthen. So they didn't spend last season so that they could make sure they comply with all the financial regulations, and I'm sure this season they'll have a big purse that they can go splash out. And I mean, I think they can be a force to be reckoned with next season, depending obviously on the summer and if they make smart signings. But I think they could be a force to be reckoned with next season. And in the end, they have a great season, and Eddie Howe is doing really, really well. And that's my thing with Newcastle, though, because I'm like, I like Eddie Howe. I think he's a good manager, but is it that manager that's gonna get you where you want to be? And I think at one point they're gonna have to make a really, really, really tough choice, because obviously the fans love him. He got them their first trophy in a long time, so they're gonna have to make a really, really tough choice about, do we want to stay with him and see if he can get us there, or do we want to go get somebody who's proven and has been there, has done it? So that's gonna be tough for them. I don't know when that will come. Maybe next season, because we saw last time they were in the Champions League, they didn't do as good. So we'll see. But I think overall they can be happy with their season for sure.
Yeah. It's a good point you're making about Eddie Howe, because people were wanting him. People were trying to get him out of Newcastle even. So that could be something that happens there if, again, I believe you're right on that next season can be crucial for them, at least how they perform in it. We know last season Champions League completely destroyed that team, like lost so many people to injury, and you had the Tonali ban and all of that, key players missing. And this year, the main issue is the inconsistency, right? Too inconsistent. He had to do a little bit as well with the injuries. Once they got their proper starters back, they started, having a string of performances. So, yeah, I mean, they will be happy with what they have from second to fifth anyway. Like, you don't really care, like, what the position is. You're just in Champions League. That's the right there. That's what matters. So they got that. And it was a big battle. It wasn't easy to get it. And let's see. This is a team to watch, man. As you said, like, they're getting more and more powerful. They're getting a better squad year after year. If they replace well, they strengthen in the right places. One thing they don't have to look for is a striker, for example. So they know probably wingers, maybe some new defenders, some young blood into the team as well. And they gonna be. I think if they make Champions League next year again, that will be something acceptable for them.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm devastated. I'm devastated because they made it into the Champions League, because, them not getting into the Champions League, that means, Isaac's price goes down, Gordon prices goes down, and then that's us. We're right there. We're getting him. But I mean, with them, staying in the Champions League, it's good for them. I mean, I'm devastated about that. I didn't want them to get there just because of that. Not because I don't like him, but just because of that. But I mean, I would agree with you, Thierry, that it's a good season for them. And your point about Eddie Howe, is it the man to get them where they want to be? I mean, I think he is, because he's done it. He's given them a trophy, and that's what they were looking for a long, long time. So I mean, he's delivered the trophy for them. But now the next step will be the next trophy. Now, is it the man to take them there? That's a different question. But I mean, I think he's done. I think he's done what he was asked to do, is just to break that trophy duck for however many years for Newcastle, and then he's done it. It's fantastic for Newcastle. It's a team that I like, and it's fantastic for them to be back in the Champions League. I think the new format of the Champions would actually suit them better. Last time in the Champions League, they were exciting. They were very unlucky, but they were, they pulled out some great results there. And what changed their season as well is just the return of a player that we don't really talk too much about, but Tonali, man. Tonali changed their season once he came back. They were a little bit struggling before then because there wasn't that balance in the midfield for Tonali, Gimenez, and Joe Linton. That three in the middle, man. Those are beasts, man. When they're all together,
strong, man.
Just a tough midfield to play. And I know, because every time we play against them, we struggle against them. So I mean. Yeah, we'll see. The shame for them is that they can't spend them. It's like they have all the gold in the world, but they can't spend it. So they're just gonna have to be smart again in the transfer market, because they can't go for the big players, just like your top teams, because of financial fair play and what revenue they get from each season. Going into the Champions League will help them. They would have the money for that, so they'll probably have a few bucks to spend. The key here is just going to be to, keep keep their main players, try and keep them, all the Gordons, the Isaacs, the midfielders and stuff, just keep them and then just add to it. Hopefully for them, Sepp Botman, who's the best defender by far, who's been injured by the majority of the season, back next year.
Like 2 years now.
He's gonna come back and be fit for once, because he is by far the best defender. And if they can strengthen and actually build a squad instead of just the first 11, the squad to fight on all fronts, I think they'll have a big season again.